Howdy, folks! How are y'all doing? Cub here, and welcome to the first episode of my new Tekkit Classic
Redux
Let's Play adventure. I'm very excited about this. I'm excited that you've tuned in. You've decided to join me for this adventure. I know there's tons of other Tekkit Classic series on the internet. You got your Tekkit with Duncan. You got your Yogg's Cast Jaffa Factory. You got your Tekkit with Reese over on Brushy at Cub's channel. I wanted to throw my view into the mix because I've played this pack quite a bit. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I want to share some of the things that I've learned, as well as some experience that I have trying some new things, and I think you folks will enjoy it, or at least I hope you do. So for episode 1, I decided to look at the 3 items I will always recommend people begin with. I think these are the 3 most important items if your playstyle is like mine. Now, if you like the struggle, if you like if you really enjoy the mining and the crafting aspect of the game, you might not agree with some of these items, but I think that if you're just here to build really cool things and build just monuments to your success, this will help you out along the way. And the first item we're going to look at is called a project table. Now, the advantage of the project table, well, how about I just build it and show it to you? That would probably make a bit more sense. So if we take a look at our recipe here, we're going to need 3 stone, some wooden planks, any old wooden planks will do, a chest, and a crafting table. And of course, you'll need a crafting table to craft this stuff in. So you'll need 2 crafting tables. So I already cooked up a bit of stone, a bit too much really, but you can never have too much stone. We've got a crafting table, a chest, and somewhere around here we should have some planks. Although we are running low, we've got some extra wood. And in fact, let's use our ugly wood, because what good is that doing us? We're not going to build with it. Oh, I should also mention, if you're wondering how I got all of this stuff so early in the game, how I have 8 levels and a nice little house with all this cool gear, I have about 3.5, depending on how you count it, pre-episodes. I call them preludes that you can watch. They're probably about an hour and a bit all together, and they just cover how I found this world, how I built this house, all the items, all the mining, everything that I've done so far, including building a little nether portal over there, though you can't see it. If you're curious to see how this all started from the very beginning, you can check that out. It'll be in the same playlist, but if you don't care, that's fine too. Let's just continue with this. So I'm going to show you another nifty trick. If you click on your project table, you might have to hover over it and press R, and you can change that in your options here. I won't go into details on that. If you press the question mark, it will imprint the item in your crafting grid, so you can see where you need to place the items, but that's the manual way of doing it. If you have all the items with you, if you hold down Shift when you click the question mark, that won't work. Well, I thought that would work. It's meant to pull all the items in there, but for whatever reason, not working, and that's okay. The imprint will work just fine. So we've got our stone, we've got our planks, we have got our crafting table, and we have our chest, and that will give us a project table. I wonder though, let me try something real fast, because I've reconfigured a key earlier, and I thought maybe that might have something to do with it, but it sadly does not. That'll give us our project table, which is going to replace this guy up here, although some people in the prelude episodes were getting upset with that being in that corner and throwing the balance of the room off. So we'll probably set this guy down maybe right here instead. No, well, no, hold on, not you. I meant to say we'll throw this guy down right here, and if we open it up, as you can see, it's got some very clear advantages to the project table. Namely, it's got a little storage area, so for items that you use a whole lot, that's really convenient because you can keep them in there. And if you're building something, like let's say we want to build a pick, we have our sticks. Oh, did I mention it'll also automatically pull items from down here? So if we wanted to create sticks, it'll automatically replenish the planks as long as you have some down here. Pretty nifty. But let's say we were going to build a pick and we realize, oh no, I don't have the iron or whatever. Well, you can look away, you can get your iron, you can come right on back and keep building, and it won't spit your items out on the ground. This is an incredibly useful tool that I'd highly recommend. Now, there's also another crafting table, if I can find it. Let's see, I believe it's going to be, if it's not the, I forget what it's called exactly. We'll cover it at a later date. It's a bit cheaty though, so we're not going to talk about it today, assuming it is in this version of Tekkit. I know for sure it was in the last, it might have been removed since, but I know for certain the project table will be here, and it is a great item to start building with. Now it's getting dark, which is fine. We're going to stay awake and we're going to do a bit more work, because the next item I would recommend you build is a Philosopher Stone. Now this is not usually where people will start with this mod pack. A lot of people will start with your machines, but I think if you're interested in getting going and hitting the ground with your feet running, this is a great way to start. This will allow you to transmute items into their equivalents. So if you have something worth, like glowstone, 384 EMC, and you have a piece of stone, which is worth 1 EMC, you could convert your glowstone into 384 stones. Or in reverse, convert 384 stones into a piece of glowstone. A lot of people think this is cheaty, and I guess it is kind of game breaking. I mean, it's called Minecraft, and this takes some of the crafting and some of the mining out of it, but it's not really cheaty. It's perfectly fine. You're exchanging one item for its equal, for its equivalent. So not really a whole lot of cheating going on there. For this build, we're going to need a diamond, which means I'm down to 1. Need a bit of glowstone, which was fun to go get. We're also going to need a bit of redstone, which I also had a lot of fun trying to find. So we're going to try this again. I wonder if I throw the items up here, if that'll make a difference. Try that shift click. Nah, that's fine though. This works just fine for me. So we've got our glowstone, our diamond, and our redstone. We'll put those items in there. We'll get our philosopher's stone. Now, if you go to a wiki, you can read up on all the cool things this will do. Essentially though, if you right click, it will occasionally work on certain blocks and not on others. But as you can see, I can change grass into sand. If I shift click, I can change sand into cobblestone, into regular stone, cobblestone, back into grass. You can do this with a lot of different items. Let's go ahead and take a nap, and I'll demonstrate what you can do with trees. Oh no. My house is being besieged by monsters. Okay, I think we might go risk it. Just real fast here, run over here and right click, and you can see I can change the type of trees. There you go. So if you have a type of wood that you're not interested in, you can transmute it. You can also do a whole bunch of different recipes with this device. If I can, let's see, if recipe, that's not it. Maybe it's uses. There we go. So you can use it to create the transmutation tablet, interdiction torches. You can also use it in recipes to create some advanced fuels, Mobius fuel, Aeternalis fuel. You can do some really neat things with it. And we're going to touch on a lot of these. You could, for instance, turn 4 gold ingots into a diamond, or a diamond into 4 gold ingots, iron into gold, gold into iron. You can do a lot of really cool things with it. Also, if you're holding it and you tap C, it brings up a mobile crafting station, meaning that wherever you are in the world, you don't have to carry around a crafting table with you. You can just bring this with you, tap C, you have access to crafting on the go. What we want to do with it is we want to build a transmutation table, not the tablet, which is great, but also very expensive. We won't have dark matter blocks for a while. The transmutation table, though, is a great tool that's going to come in very, very handy. Some of you might have seen a similar device in other series. A lot of people like the energy condenser, which is great for automating the condensing of energy, but this is actually better. And I know some people will disagree and argue with that. I'm doing this completely wrong. What did I say I needed? What am I doing? Stone, right. Here we go. Not sure what I was thinking. That'll give us our tablet. Yes, it is a tablet. They're both called tablets. I know in newer versions of this pack, one is called a table. That's why I say it. You can place it down. As you can see, it's about a quarter block. It's definitely not a half block, maybe a quarter block. And the reason this is better than an energy condenser, for those of you who don't know, an energy condenser, if you put anything in there, a block of dirt, a block of stone, it condenses it down to EMC, and then you can use that to create another object. The problem with that is you have to have an object to convert it into. So let's say you need to make gold, but you've run out of gold. You have to go find another piece of gold in order to do that. With this, though, anything you throw in here, it will learn the recipe for. So as you can see, we got a crafting table. It's worth 32 EMC. We can teach it to the system by placing it here in the middle, by placing it over here. Yeah, that's it. You want to place it over here, and you saw it came up and said learned, so we can pull it out now. And if we feed some EMC in here, for instance, let's throw some steak, and you can feed EMC to the machine by just dropping it right here where the fire is. Also, I believe dropping an object into the fire, yep, we'll teach it to the machine. As you can see, we now have 64 EMC stored in the transmutation table, or tablet, whichever, and we can use that EMC to either get another piece of steak, or we can get 2 crafting tables with it. Look at that, we can throw all 3 of those into the fire. We have 96 now, so we can get a steak and have some left over. And you can see the difference between this, and I'm not saying that the energy condenser is bad. It's great for certain things. You just have to know how to use it. And this is much better for storing all of your items that have EMC and pulling them out when you need them. And this thing will remember your EMC because it's stored on your player, which means if you build another transmutation table and you place it someplace else, if you access it, it shows all of the items you've learned and how much EMC is stored. So this is a great device to have. I'm just going to throw a bit more food in there. As you can see, we got a lot of EMC. We can start teaching it different things, like we can teach it my axe. And, well, actually, I think we do have to... Well, if you place an item... Right, we don't have enough EMC. It won't show up if you don't have enough EMC to make it. If we throw it in there, though, we now have enough EMC to make it. And look at that, it's fully healed. Now, there's a question for you. If this is damaged and I throw it in here, that's worth 846. A new one will be worth 1,000. So it will cost a little bit of extra EMC to get one that's fully repaired. But it's also, you know what, if you have a little bit of extra EMC, you can throw your broken tools in here and then get repaired ones back out. It costs a little bit of extra EMC, but at least your tools will be repaired and you won't have to use your ores to build new ones. So that's the top 3 things I would recommend that you build. The Philosopher's Stone, the Transmutation Table, and the Project Table. And you might have noticed it didn't consume the Philosopher's Stone in the recipe. None of the recipes that use the Philosopher's Stone will consume it. It's pretty much infinite. And I didn't mention this before, but if you tap V, you can charge this thing up and you can make its area of effect wider. So you can turn a whole big blot there into sand or back. To decharge it, shift, hold it down, and then tap V. And you want to be very careful with that. You could potentially mess things up very badly. Well, folks, that pretty much does it for this episode. That's been the first episode. Those are the things I'd recommend building first. Now, next episode, you might have noticed I've got a lot of ores in here. I want to go ahead and turn them into bars and then feed them into our transmutation table here. The problem with that is there's the more efficient way to make bars. We can actually double all of the ores in here if we build a few basic machines, which we're going to do next time. So until then, thank you folks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, throw a thumbs up my way. It really does help the videos, and I know some people don't like to hear that. Why are you asking for that? But really, it does help a whole lot. So if you think about it, please do. And until next time, God bless y'all, and I'll see you later. Bye. Carpenter, what's happening right now? Carpenter's safe. Underneath there? Oh my, oh no! Oh no!